going on, people? Rasati out here in Singapore. Thank you so much for joining me on the Night Owl podcast. And today, it is with a heavy heart that I'm recording this because, yes, we lost uh, such an iconic voice, such memorable music, so many BGMs that all of us have kind of lived through in one phase or another. We lost a great singer, S.P. Balasubramaniam, and I know that I've been seeing posts over and over again of people who have met him, who've taken pictures with him, who remember his favorite songs or their favorite songs of his. Lots of memes, lots of BGMs, lots and lots of posts, and it's heartwarming to see. But one post that I saw that kind of hit me a little closer to home was the fact that somebody posted and said, life will never be the same. And at first I was like, yeah, you know what? Yeah, it will never be the same. Music will never be the same. But you know what? No, it's not meant to be the same. You know why? Because he made sure he left his mark while he was alive. He made an impact. He created so much content. And yes, music is content. He did everything he possibly could. Yes, he was given projects I'm sure he had to write for, but he kept creating, he kept collaborating, he kept singing, he kept showing up, he kept acting. He did so much while he was alive that his presence was felt while he was alive, and his absence is felt even more deeply, because I don't think there is an Indian alive that doesn't know who he is or hasn't heard one of his songs. So with that, I want to remind you guys, this is what legacy could be. I know you have your influencers and your favorite makeup gurus and your favorite, TikTok video artists. I know you have all your favorites out there. And they are doing with their life as much as possible, as often as possible. They're showing up, they're creating. And I know you would be upset if you didn't get the regular, dose of Zach King or Prince EA Prince EA. I'm sorry. Who else? Nas Daily, Gary Vaynerchuk, and the Daily V. Who else? Let's think. For a while there, it was Superwoman before she became herself, Lily Singh, and she has a late night TV show. But you know what? She didn't get there overnight. She did this work over and over and over and over again. She showed up. She became consistent. She became predictable, because that's how you gain an audience. And yeah, I've been slacking off. And I could do better. But you know what? I do have an audience. I have been trying. I have been creating. Just not as often and as consistently as I could be, but that doesn't mean that I can't remedy that. That can be fixed. That can be changed. So when it comes to icons like, when Michael Jackson passed, when, so many icons. Chester Bennington passed of Linkin Park. When Chadwick Boseman passed. Kobe Bryant, Naya Rivera, Irfan Khan, Rishi Kapoor. Just so many people passed away, but we remember them and it hits us a little bit more deeply, even though we don't know them on a personal level, because we know the kind of content they created. We know the kind of work they put out there. They influenced our lives in some way, shape, or form. We became entangled into their lives, and because they showed up, because they did what they loved best, they had discovered what their passions were, they showed up to life, they took every chance they could to be more than they were the day before. They superseded their own expectations, and because of that, we are very influenced by all of their work, all of the art, the music, the movies, the entertainment, the content. All of that really, really matters to us. So when we say, oh God, you know what? This scene will never be the same. Of course it won't be, because they made sure they left a dent, they left a mark. So I want to turn it back onto us, though, as everyday people, right? We think that nobody pays attention and no one knows we exist, and I'm sure, because I feel that way sometimes too. But we also know that when we stop doing things, people tend to notice and tend to criticize us. So in the same vein, why wouldn't you do something that you love every day? I've had so many people come to me and say, you know what, I want to be a music producer. I want to make beats. I want to make music. I want to rap. I want to, do rhythm covers of popular songs. And I keep telling them, hey, you know what, if that's really what you love to do, I want you to create a piece every day. Just one piece every day. it won't take you 30 minutes because you love what you do anyway. You would fall into the project very, very easily. If you set aside half an hour, like a gym workout time period or whatever, half an hour to do one thing that you love a little bit every day, you would before long have tons of content. It's the reason I'm almost at 1,000 podcast episodes, y'all. I had a friend of mine who didn't know much about music production. He wanted to make beats though because he was inspired, and he got some kind of app on his phone. And I said, look, you make a beat, any beat, make a beat every day and send it to me. And for 30 days straight, this man created content, and he didn't know he could until he did. And guess what? The more he made the content, the better his content became, because he could hear his own style evolving. He could hear the fact that, I did this once before. I'm not going to do the same thing again. I'm going to try and venture out something different. I'm going to try a different beat, a different musical instrument, a different arrangement of the various percussion instruments in the beat itself. So when we start to create more, when we really intentionally show up, when we really use our talents, the sky's the limit. Not even the sky, your imagination's the limit. Sure, you only have 24 hours in a day, but you can do a lot in 24 hours. I know for a fact that I can sit down and write. If I'm really inspired, I can sit down and write in a half an hour. I could write an article. I could write a piece of poetry, but I have to be inspired, which means that I need to set up a routine where I start off inspired. And for a while there, I was really good at it. I would wake up in the morning, I'd get my daughter dressed and off to school, and on the way back home, I would walk around the block, which if I walk around the block twice is about 5 kilometers. But while I was walking around the block, I would listen to podcast episodes. I know for a while there, I would come home and I would listen to Gary Vee, and my mom would get irritated because she just didn't like him cussing. But I would listen to Gary Vee, and halfway through the first 5 minutes, I'd be like, yo, oh my gosh, you know what? Spark of inspiration. I know exactly what I want to talk about today because he said something that really clicked with me. And it happens a lot. It's just the way he speaks. Either he really upsets me because I could have done better, or he gives me another idea of something I've never tried before. So in that vein, I get inspired. And it was a habit. I made sure that I went off and I created content, or I listened to content, or I consumed content somehow so that I would have something to talk about. Back when I was doing the $1.80 marketing strategy that Gary Vaynerchuk talked about, which is put your 2 cents worth on 90 different posts every day, I was getting the engagement. I was getting follow backs. I was getting people to start a conversation with me. We were having lots of fun. I was having lots of fun, and I was able to post to my story. It's the reason I started posting my stories so much, actually, because I wanted to show the world the things that I loved, the things that made me excited about life, or reminded me that, you know what, I do have what it takes, and I shouldn't be so hard on myself sometimes. But it was an intentional habit that I'd created that gave me the inspiration I needed to get my ass moving, to create the stuff that I wanted to create. The reason I can do 1,000 episodes in a podcast is because I consume so much. I pay so much attention. Everything is inspiration to me. From those mundane conversation in an elevator to, I don't know, a long drawn out Vampire Diaries 8-season, binge watching situation that I have plenty to talk about. Why? Because art imitates life, and life imitates art, and wow, there's just so much to discuss. So as much as we are rocked to the core because we lost another great influence in music, I know the world will never be the same. But you know why? Because he showed up. He showed up on purpose and in full force as often as possible. He made sure he left a mark. I'm making sure I leave a mark. And it's not because I want to be remembered for any one thing. It's because I know what it's like not to have anyone you can go to for help. So I want to be that person. I want to show you how you can get the help you need, how you can learn to help yourself by leaning on someone for a little while until they teach you what they know, and then you can do it for yourself. That is the whole point here. So as much as we are pained by so much loss this year, I want you to remember, no, life will not be the same. And yes, it could be sad to think about it that way. But guess what? Life is also not the same because we were influenced by him. Life will never be the same again because he was a part of our lives. We invited him into our lives. We listened to him. We followed him. We you know, got carried away with all the music he made. We were swept up by the emotions. And that's a good thing. And that's the kind of, I don't know, impact I want to leave behind. To say, yeah, you know what? She passed away. But I remember who she was. And this is what she meant to me. And I remember what she did. And this is what it meant to me. And I remember that she was here for this. And that's what it meant to me. Life is not meant to be the same after you leave. You're meant to make an impact. You're here for a reason. You have a specific perspective, a specific passion. You see things a specific way. So you can help other people relate and get to where they need to go. We're all meant to inspire each other. And I hope this helps you guys. I hope it reminds you exactly how much potential for impact you have. I'll catch you again soon. I love you. Bye.